Here's our first look at Cardano for a little while. And what I will say from straight away, I can see that the long-term monthly trend isn't looking great, as it's kind of now pretty much over. We had that big bullish move up, and this was our initial structure here. I'm just going to draw that out so we can see there's our low, and then we had our structure high. Remember, just because one trend is over, it never means that it's never coming back. We just need to understand where we are in the market right now. So right here, these are fractal lows and highs that were kind of keeping us in that bullish range for that such a long time. And when I can get this on point, there we go. Okay, that's going to be what it is. So as we came back down here, as with all altcoins, just a big crash, I would say, and we closed below this level. So these 2 months in February and March were nice because it gave you that failed close, which is a hint that price does want to go higher. On the daily and the weekly, we just never got the correct structure we needed in terms of finding that daily demand zone or the weekly demand zone to bounce off of and head higher. So that kind of hints, yeah, we don't get involved in that, and we just wait it out. And then what happens? The price just comes down and closes below that line. And I will show you how that kind of looks in this area later on in this video. But for now, still looking at the monthly, we can see obviously we've broken past this. So this is our new level now. Well, it's going to be down here somewhere. I guess we still have to wait for this monthly candle to close to determine if that's going to be the fractal and the next one to open. But for now, we're just going to leave it at that, as we need to know, where we are. Our fractal high is still the same. I don't see any other fractals that are peeking out. No, there's no other fractals this level in between. So this is our new range. It's a bit bearish now, and obviously we've broken that swing low. So now we know the monthly structure where it is in terms of where we need to be. We have obviously broken this initial high many moves ago, so that's still a good sign in terms of, we know that our initial highs have been taken out, but we're no longer trending above them. So this is something to take into consideration. But let's move down into the weekly and take a look at that zone. Let me just mark it out for you so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is that's that area there, and on the weekly we'll move down and we can see this candle here. In fact, a better way to do this, vertical line right there. So everything prior to this line and up to February, this is all of Feb. Here was that kind of wick that was formed below the previous fractal on a monthly. So we came down here, and then at the end of that month we closed, and this was that level, and this is the level that we needed to break to say that, yeah, price is definitely gonna come back around for us. So there's our fractal low and there's our fractal high, and we need price to close above this level to turn this into a demand zone. And once price does that, what we like to see is, price come out, come back in, and then we eventually do that or something similar. Unfortunately, obviously we didn't get that close, so you just wait it out. It doesn't come straight away, it can take time, but if we get a close down below, then this zone is over, and that's just what happened first. Whoever wins the race, the bulls or the bears, and the bears won that time, so we wait for a new one. If you're unsure of how I made that pattern, definitely check out my video on the only method you ever need. I'll be doing more videos on kind of my whole trading setup shortly, but that's one kind of quick overview for you guys in the meantime. As for the weekly, moving on to that, what we have is a similar bearish structure, which we've had for quite some time now. So there's our fractal high, there's our fractal low, and let me just change this. There we go. So weekly structure, breaking, there's our previous low, then it gets broken again, and we're here, and we're likely to break it this week as well if it's not already been broken. Zoom in so gracefully, and let me just double check that. So the low on this candle is 74.59, and the close on this candle is 74.13. Let's double check that. Okay, so no, that has not yet occurred. Though if this candle obviously closes below this line, then our new fractal low will be somewhere down here. But for now, I'm just going to leave that here just so we know. And then our fractal high is the most previous high to this one. So I'm just going to draw that as well. Let's quickly see where that is right here. So this is that structure that we're currently in. Now what would be beautiful for a nice comeback for Cardano is to obviously close above this line. That shows a lot of buying pressure in between these zones, and then there may be some entries on the weekly that we could take for a couple swing trades, but as for now we're below it. So we'll see what happens come Sunday of this week. And let me just zoom out. Okay, so looking left, what we can see is price broke below these lows here. So these were our levels, our lows that kind of equal lows right here and here, and then price just broke right below it. So that's that bullish trend pretty much over, and now we've got somewhat of a downward. It's just really more of an expansive move than a trend. Prices coming down with very little pullbacks. This is probably our most cleanest pullback right there, but either way, we just doesn't take a genius to figure out that price is bearish. So that's the main thing you can see with this. But looking left, what we can see is obviously we've taken out these lows, so that's important to us. And with those lows being taken out, what we have here is the swing low almost becoming a resistance area as price broke below it, came back into it, probably may have got a few swing trade entries here on this is the weekly, so you've got a few days in of profit before prices catapults quite down. And obviously a sell would definitely have been more preferable if you were looking in this area, because you can see prices just going to continue doing that movement as we come up to this minor level of resistance, which was once support, is now resistance. So this is maybe something to keep on your chart and to see how we play against this in the future. But moving left again, I like to always keep going back, because you just never know what you're going to find. And what I can see is if you remember last year early on, we had that big kind of crash. This is what I call a crash, where in one day price just catapults down, and then doesn't have to rally, but it did. It rallied all the way back up as if it never happened, but it did happen. So what we need to focus on is what did it do down there. So if I zoom into this area, we can see there's obviously a lot of orders at this level. So this 15-16 cent range, there's orders here. So it wouldn't be unwise to think that there may still be potentially some more orders in this area again, even though it's like drastically far away. It's just like, if price does come back down here and you're crying and you're sad or you're feeling a certain way, well, don't, because maybe that can happen again. This is your kind of stop levels right here. You've got, let me just do this correctly. You've got your stop levels, something like looking like that. And then I don't know what your targets are. It depends on the chart really, but it's not much of a risk at this level for me. Again, this isn't financial advice. This is purely for education or entertainment purposes only. Always seek professional financial advice where required. But for me, if I see price come down here, and hopefully, obviously, you would have, took your profits or cut your losses short already. But if price does come back down here, we know that this is a potential area for us to get in again if it does come back down here. Though I don't always expect it to do such madness like that, because once orders have been taken, they're usually gone, and there's another area for that to happen. Specifically, maybe around the 200 EMA. That's usually a good kind of bet for places to look for entries. As we can see, it's still early forming, but price is still heading towards that zone here. It may not touch down here, but again, we're not looking for those things. We're just seeing how close are we to this. Are our trading setups kind of being activated? So it's not just about price being here or even in this zone. It's about, okay, it's in the zone. That's one tick of the box, but what else is happening that's in my favor? So just always we always follow those things there. Moving on to the daily. So nice clean downward trend. You've got all these moves, just showing you what's happening right there. The highs getting lower. I'm just drawing out the big ones right there. And then this equal high section here, double top. And then, we just cracked right down there. And then let's draw the daily structure out for us. We know it's bearish, mainly because obviously because of the trend, but also these fractals are just getting broken left, right, and center. So here's our current low right here, and then our previous fractal high is this one. In this zone, not looking at any buyers, I'm just marking out things, seeing where we are on the chart. Is there any zones to be going to? If I zoom out again, we look to the far left now. I'm not really going to be looking at zones here, but you can see, it all kind of lines up the same, that situation that happened in that one day. You know, still this zone is going to be the main one I'm looking at, though there are some here. Obviously, as you can see, this kind of at the bottom of a move, but I don't really like, you know, taking the daily ones. If there's a weekly or monthly zone that's just near it, you know, that's going to have a lot more strength to it rather than taking the daily ones. But again, another situation could give us, you know, another play could be forming at some point in the daily structure. So we just have to kind of look for that. I want to see, you know, price kind of rally up, fail to close at some of these levels, either giving us some demand zones, or we zoom down and then we can, you know, get some intraday trading action going on. But that is all I have for you on ADA. If you like what you're seeing, like and subscribe. Thanks for listening.